Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
What were you
Ding,
saying?
ding.
You said, "Are you a standout?" No, I'm not. Hey, I'm Jens, and I'm Ashlee, and we stand up to stand out. We are the standouts.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Let's start with hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am
Good to see
good.
you.
How do you say hello in German?
Hello.
Hallo.
How do you say hello in American?
Hey, girl. No, I'm kidding. Just joking. Have you seen that German guy where he's like, "Good morning in the morning"?
Good morning in the morning.
Good morning in the morning.
In the. Ah,
In the
the.
morning.
Yeah. So, yeah, everyone watching this, listening to it, wherever you see this, welcome to the Standouts.
Okay.
What is the Standouts? What is it all about,
Wow.
Ashlee?
What is a standout as a standout, or what are we as the standouts?
Let's start first with what is a standout.
Wow, a standout is someone that you notice right away. They stand out, they command the room, they've got the attention, they know how to make decisions. They're very focused. There's just this gleaming aura around them and you're like, I need to know that guy. That guy right there, I need him. Who's that woman or man?
Love it. Yeah, I agree. I have somewhere here in my small Billy bookshelf. I was about to say no, it's a normal shelf. Um, a book which is about body language, and it's a very famous guy, very old book, but
Mhm.
it's basically what you said. It's a person when you're a trained person as a standout, as someone who knows how to use the body language and how to use the personality you have built up over time. It's a person that opens the door and is
Mhm.
present, and everyone inside the room feels it.
Yes.
That's for me one of the things that stand out, and that's what basically standouts is about as well, or isn't it?
It is. It is about this. It's about I mean, it really is because the great thing about standouts is that you'll always be able to see one because there will always be
Yeah,
people who do not stand out. And that is very important to know. And so when you know that, then you can do what it takes to actually create yourself to be a standout, whether it's just practicing skills or just mastering certain things. That's the beauty of being a standout is that you can become one.
yeah. And that's maybe for everyone watching this, you can be a standout, and there are a couple of tricks. We will go more into this over the next couple of hundred episodes of how you can be a standout, how you can get a standout, how the whole
Mhm.
thing works. But let's go a little bit into the background story for people who have never heard about us.
Who are you?
Yeah, I have no idea. Who are we?
Who are we?
So yeah, maybe going a little bit. Ashley and I met last year. We got connected through the podcasting I'm doing, and we jumped on a podcast. I interviewed Ashley. Anyone interested in the link will be somewhere here. You're welcome to have a listen or a look at the YouTube version of that. So I interviewed Ashley, and we talked about leadership, coaching. I interviewed you about your past, and somehow we've we instantly clicked together just on a Zoom call. We have never met in person at that time, and then over time we stayed connected, and we have seen that hey, there is something which what if we combine the superpowers? You and a very experienced coach, a person that has worked in the public from childhood and worked with amazing people around the globe, very famous people, and me coming more from the corporate world, where I've had the possibility to grow as a leader myself, building leadership skills for myself, but as well helping from young people to very experienced people to perform in a different way. And somehow we combined this superpowers to say, hey, what if we put the superpowers together and say, we can help other people to stand out as well? And that's how we ended up together. And since a couple of weeks I'm living in Spain. You're living in Spain. We have met in Barcelona, and that's how we got started.
And we've
Anything
just
to
been
add?
going with it. And every
Yeah.
time we talk about it and every time we speak about it, we actually capture the room with it. The
Yeah,
dinner we had was pretty cool.
exactly. Maybe we need to invite the guys from the dinner and doing maybe a session where we interview them as well on standout
Oh,
topics. That's maybe an
that
idea.
would be a good one. That would be a good one.
Yeah. So this episode, if we call it, do we call it episode? Do we call
Yeah,
it
it's an
episode?
episode. It's one of many.
It's standout number 1. So this is all about us talking and letting you, as the person that's watching this or listening to it, if we put it someday in an audio version, being able to be part of what we're doing. So we said we documented from the beginning, and we started last year, but we really started basically this year in 2022, and documenting the process and progress we're doing, and just having fun
And having fun.
on video, which is also not too
Having
bad.
fun. This is the best thing is that this developed from a text message. I think I was like, hey, can I talk to you about something? Just randomly
Exactly.
texting. I was like, what do you think of this? We talked about it on Thursday, and what, Monday, we were like, game plan. Let's
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Game plan.
And then a couple of weeks later, I got the invitation from the Barcelona University to go to Barcelona, and then it's like, of course, we organized something, and that's how it moved.
Oh, no.
And then we met again in person, which was awesome. Was cool spending time with you and the other friends of you, and yeah, figuring it out.
Just figuring it out. And we're here. And we built this amazing concept that, for me personally, every company needs. But who am I to say?
No, not just companies, as well individuals, I think.
And individuals. Like all aspects of the standouts, guys, it's so cool. Because
Yeah.
in any aspect you take it, it flourishes. There's a
Yeah.
way to be a standout.
Let's get a little bit into what it is. So, of course, it's the two of us doing fun things together, but it's more, and we have a bigger vision.
What is it about? We provide tailor-made, innovative ways to solve problems. And the best, I mean, in a short version, right? If we're just, if
In a
I want to go
nutshell.
really quick, that's the short version. If you want me to go into it, the thing is that when you really think about how to solve problems, a lot of times people come in with these pre-made agendas of how to solve problems, and these ways are not applicable to all aspects of the company. And so now you're at a hindrance because it's only, helping one aspect of the company. And so we come in and we say, no, let us, the thing is that we like to take the deep dive into companies. We want to sit down and hear everything that's happening, and we're not afraid to attack it and find a solution. But the solution that we're going to pick, it's not going to be, sitting at a table of 10 in a workshop with a easel board and drawing and writing. No way. That's not, yeah, you can learn, but is it going to really make an impact, really make a change? You need something that's going to touch the mind, body, soul. You need something that's going to really penetrate and really shape you into becoming something and someone new.
Yeah.
Becoming a standout. So these workshops that we provide, I don't want to give too much details, but think outside the box. Think out of the ordinary. Think of sitting in a restaurant and someone handing you a card that has a question on it, and you need to do what the card says. And the card may seem at first a little bit intimidating, and it may seem like, what is this solving as a leader, as a manager, as a team player? What is this solving? But it's almost like you have like a minute to really snap into it and really understand what we're asking you and find it inside of yourself to do it.
So, giving the corporate version of this.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So good example. We can pick the example from this morning call. So we have been on a call with a global corporate, and we talked to a person, and talked about leadership development, and of course a large company always has the struggle that they say, yeah, we have already a lot of leadership programs and there's
Mhm,
things going on, and by the way, we don't have a leadership problem.
mhm.
But then inside of that conversation, what we have found out, there they have a lot of challenges, like every business has, and I've never seen any business that has not a challenge. So there was like the production process, the product development things, and so there have been different challenges. And what we said is like, okay, do you believe it's a production process challenge, or is it maybe a leadership challenge? So we dig deeper, because all we do is not fixing the production process. What we would do is helping to understand what are the leadership issues, what are maybe
Right.
conflict resolutions inside of that context, and really digging into that, and then looking into how can we provide a tailor-made program to that corporation, to that company, to say, okay, there are different things which help the leaders or the group of leaders to stand out, understanding their problems, understanding their needs as well from a corporate perspective. Going into that helps us to provide, or picking from our menu and then provide a workshop. And maybe we need to find a different word for workshop, because everyone thinks it's a
Yeah,
normal
everyone
workshop.
thinks it's a normal workshop.
So I mean, retreat, a couple of people get it, that might
Right.
help, but it's maybe not.
Yeah.
So but so for everyone who is interested in this, so imagine, and we have played that already, it's like, imagine you sit in a restaurant, you're a group of five people, and next to you there's another group of five people, you have nothing to do with them. And picking this card, which Ashley was mentioning, you're there for having dinner, having a couple of drinks. It feels like an evening setting, but it's part of the curated experience we are providing. You get a card which says, hey, by the way, you have 5 minutes to convince the other table next to us to swap places, which means a group sitting there, you have never talked to them, maybe it's a family, maybe it's a birthday, maybe it's a corporate setting, whatever. Swap tables, get your
Oh.
group there, and that's your leadership challenge for today. And of course that fits, and we have curated that in a way that it fits to solve the challenges you have in your business, so
Mhm,
that you understand how to do that. That's
mhm.
maybe just one example to go more into a practical setting, um, which requires different leadership skills than, hey, I'm your manager, you should do what I'm saying.
Right.
Um, yeah, I mean that would be an example. Another example, if we go more into a personal perspective, because what we said is we will do group settings, we will do individual settings, and we will do that as well outside of the context of the business. We don't want to be another leadership development
No.
thingy, which a lot of organizations do, and then they're most probably way better in this normal ways of doing things than we do. We doing things in the extraordinary world. We take the people outside of the corporate, outside of their normal environment, and put them into situation where they most probably struggle in the beginning, but that's
Mhm.
exactly designed to the way that they need to overcome the fears, need to overcome and overstep one tiny step each at a time, to go into a different place, which helps them to take it back to the organization and then develop it further. So, for example, if we work on a one on one, that's more about, imagine personal branding. There's a person that's not a standout. It's
Mhm.
not recognized as a standout, but it's a very important leader of this organization. Maybe has the knowledge and the know-how to be a very important leader of an organization, but it's not the charismatic leader, the standout
Right.
person, but which is required to lead a very large organization. So how do we get this person into being a standout? That's another, more from a personal level. How would we do that? I have no idea.
Oh my gosh, there's so much like juicy science stuff in this also that's just so cool. Breaking the barriers, I think is what's the coolest thing.
Yeah, maybe give the example when we have been walking at the harbor. What would, like, what you have, like the training effect of going into this party thing? If you just explain what would help a person, like, I would have never done this, but for you, it's like, yeah, of course, no
Yeah.
problem. So maybe give that example so people get a little bit of
Yeah, I'm gonna
understanding
give
how
you
this
guys some
personal
context.
branding could work.
We saw, so Jens and I were walking in Barcelona, and we saw this cool party. It had the alluring lights, it had people outside, there was champagne bottles, it was flashing lights. It was like, what? It was on the harbor. It was amazing. It was overlooking the water. We have to be there. Let's go. And Jens was like, can't just go. And I'm like, yeah, we can at least try. And just having that characteristic of just like, let's just try. Imagine that in a business. Imagine being more willing to just try new things. Imagine what are the results of something like that? Um, and it's so simple, but the more you do it and the more you practice, the better you get. And then it just applies to your just becomes a part of you, actually,
Absolutely.
to where you see something, and that's the importance of having the mindset of a leader. It's that you need to see things that other people may not necessarily see or agree with you, and to have that mindset and awareness of that, to A, keep leading, meaning follow the same direction and see the vision, even if no one else sees it. And B, what do you do when other people come to you with, like, I don't see your vision? How do you then get them to see your vision?
Yeah. And I think a very important point. I talk a lot about big corporates. That's just my comfort zone where I come from. But I think, especially this topic, it's applicable for students who start in a job. It's applicable for startup founders, people working in startups who need to go beyond themselves to acquire a new customer. It's for of course companies in general, but as well larger companies. So these small things will help you to stand out, maybe find a new way, a new angle of finding a new client, finding the next step as a student, finding and doing a step which helps you to find the right job,
Yeah.
convincing the person who is on the other side. I mean, I have coached a young student over the last years, and I helped her to find out who she is, and going into a conversation which is a job conversation right now. What I got as a reflection, it's all about, okay, there's an Excel table and they tick boxes. I have always hired people without looking at the CV because I was more interested into the person, and
Mm.
rather than which grade they have had
Right.
like 20
Right.
years ago. But still, it was a fairly bigger company she was applying to. So these companies took, okay, did you have this university degree? Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you? For me, it's like, okay, you're applying to be a salesperson, and they're talking about something that's not related to that job, just to
Mhm.
tick the box that you have had a specific university degree.
Mhm.
Doesn't make sense in my eyes. So imagine you as a student, you want to stand out. How do you convince the other person, even with not having this degree, that you're the
Right.
right person?
Right.
Maybe you shouldn't go the normal route to send in your application where you have 500 others. How can you reach out to that person or to the CEO straight away and say, I'm the right person for you?
Right. Right.
And this are things most of the students don't do and would never do, but
No.
that's exactly what we're about. And that works in the same way if you're a startup founder. How do you how do you reach out to an extraordinary person, and maybe your success rate is, I don't know, it feels like 0 point something percent, but if you don't reach out, it's definitely zero.
Oof.
And if you do this every day, if you train yourself to do this every day, stand out and contact people, get in contact, hang out with people who want to stand out as well, that helps
Mhm.
you to take a completely different path in your life.
I love it. I love us. I love what we do. I love myself.
That's what you need to. That's part of
It is.
being
It's about
standout.
being a standout. It is.
Yeah.
It's having this confidence and just this know-how. This it's going to work. It's amazing. Like I look around, I'm like, everything is amazing. That's the American in me, but just
Yeah. So that's another fun point. A German and an American.
wow.
We we will figure it out. An Excel table and a PowerPoint presentation.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It really is.
But yeah, maybe closing it for today. If we just take this as an example, anyone watching this, if you have questions, if you want to be part of it, if you want to engage with us, reach out to us. We're happy to do this. We're still figuring things out. We want you to be part of that journey, and we're growing as we go. Goal is helping people. So if
Yeah.
you think you would like to get our help, reach out. Um, and it's for us, it's one part is giving back, but on a long-term perspective, of course, we want to earn money with this. Um, Being a standout, that's part of how it is. So we see it, one thing for a lot of businesses, it's an opportunity for you to change things,
Mhm.
to stand out. And I always say, hey, how can you double your business in a year? Depends on the business. But how can you do this through leadership to truly standing out and driving things forward? Anything to add?
Oh, yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have that inkling inside of you that you're just like, ah, I know I'm meant for more, I just don't know how to get there. We're your guys. And we do it in a fun, maybe not always easy way. And sometimes it's not always going to be easy, but we do it in a way that's going to help you realize things in places you didn't expect, and just a different environment to really help you see it. But we're still quite fun about it. I mean, if you look at us.
The corporate dude and the fun
Look
person.
at us. And we did it, and we made it work. And we're standouts ourselves.
Of course we are. Yeah, that's it. Is it? That's the
It is.
first standout episode, isn't it?
That was pretty good.
Let's close it.